Hello, my friends, fellow anglers, and enthusiasts of the tight line. Your favorite fishing guru is back with another crucial forecast to help you make the most of your time on the water. We are diving deep into the fishing conditions for New Zealand, covering the period from the 13th to the 19th of October 2025. Now, this week is shaping up to be truly special, a classic New Zealand spring full of both promise and a touch of unpredictability. Why is it special, you ask? Because as our waters continue to warm, fish all across the country are shaking off their winter sluggishness and starting to feed aggressively, making for some explosive action. Get ready, because I'm going to share all the secrets to turn these spring conditions into a memorable week of fishing. We will uncover where to find them, what they are biting on, and how to adapt to the always changing weather. Now let's talk tactics, my friends. We have some fantastic opportunities for several key species this time of year. I've picked out 3 of New Zealand's favourites: the wily trout, the ever-popular snapper, and the hard-fighting kingfish, with a special mention for kahawai, which are always a blast and make excellent bait. First up, our freshwater jewels. Trout, both brown and rainbow. October first marks the opening of the main fishing season for many rivers and streams across the country, so our trout are less pressured and more eager to bite after their winter rest and spawning. You will want to focus on rivers and lakes where the water is clear and still a bit cool, but definitely on the rise. Look for them in areas where tributaries meet larger bodies of water along weed beds and near submerged structures like logs and rocks. Why there? Because these spots offer cover and are prime locations for newly emerging insect life, which the hungry trout will be actively targeting. For gear, spin fishing is often highly effective early in the season. Try using small, natural-coloured soft baits or spinner lures like meps or tassie devils. If you're a fly angler, go for weighted nymphs early in the day, mimicking the larvae and pupae that are becoming active as the water warms. As the day progresses and temperatures creep up, keep an eye out for early mayfly or caddis hatches. If you see rises, switch to a well-presented dry fly. The strikes can be absolutely explosive. Remember, trout will be feeding voraciously to regain condition, so larger patterns can be effective. Stealth is still key, especially in New Zealand's famously clear waters, but they may be slightly less wary than later in the season. Next, let's head to the coast for snapper, the undisputed favourite of many Kiwi anglers. October sees the snapper fishery in the North Island truly come alive, particularly in areas like the Hauraki Gulf, Bay of Islands and Coromandel. These fish are moving into shallower coastal waters in large numbers, preparing for spawning. This means workups, those incredible feeding frenzies involving seabirds, dolphins and baitfish, will be active and flourishing. Where to find them? Focus on coastal areas around rocky outcrops, reefs, and especially in depths of 50 to 60 meters off the bar leads if you're in a boat. If you're land-based, jetties, wharves, and surf beaches adjacent to deeper channels can be productive. The key is to find the baitfish. Where the bait is, the snapper will follow. For tackle, soft baiting is incredibly effective, especially with natural colors like greens and browns, or brighter options like pink and orange when the water has some color. Slow jigs like slider-type lures weighing between 100 and 140 grams are also deadly, particularly in pink or orange. Fresh bait, such as pilchards, squid, or skipjack tuna, stray line down a burley trail will almost always get results. Don't be afraid to try some fresh kahawai as bait. It's a snapper magnet. And for the thrill seekers among us, the mighty kingfish are making their presence felt. Spring is hands down one of the best times to chase these powerful predators, and they're showing up in good numbers and excellent condition, having fattened up over winter. You'll find them around reefs, offshore islands, pinnacles and drop-offs, basically any underwater structure that holds bait. They also love to hang around the edges of those snapper workups, picking off stray baitfish. Live baiting is arguably the most effective method for kingfish. Small kahawai, mackerel or pilchards, bridled and sent down to the strike zone, are irresistible. For lure fishing, mechanical jigging with long, slim jigs in weights of 100 to 200 grams is productive. Colors like pink, orange, and blue can all have their moments. Topwater action with stick baits and poppers can be absolutely exhilarating, especially during calmer mornings or evenings when kingfish are hunting closer to the surface. Look for surface busts and actively working birds. If you spot them, cast your lures right into the action and hold on tight. The strike of a kingfish is legendary. And a quick mention for P. kahawai. While often seen as bait, they are fantastic sport fish on light tackle. You'll find them schooling around river mouths, estuaries, and along beaches. Small metal lures, 7 to 40 grams, or soft plastics in green or silver retrieved quickly or with erratic jerks can trigger a bite. They're strong fighters and perfect for some family fun. All right, my friends, let's dive into the conditions shaping our week from the 13th to the 19th of October 2025. Weather outlook. New Zealand. Spring weather is famously variable, and this week looks to be a classic example. We can expect mild daytime temperatures, likely ranging from around 15 to 20 degrees Celsius, 59 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit in the North Island, and a slightly cooler, but still pleasant, 12 to 16 degrees Celsius, 54 to 61 degrees Fahrenheit in the South Island. Nights will still be quite fresh, dropping to between 5 and 12 degrees Celsius, 41 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Be prepared for sudden shifts. 1 minute it could be warm and sunny, the next you might get a brisk shower or even a polar blast bringing some chilly winds. This changeable weather often means fluctuating atmospheric pressure, which can make fish a bit capricious. Wind speeds around coastal areas can average around 19 kilometers per hour, so expect some breeze. The good news is that day lengths are getting longer, giving us more precious time on the water. Water temperature. The waters across New Zealand are steadily increasing in temperature, which is absolutely crucial for fish activity. Average sea temperatures in the North Island are hovering around 15 to 16 degrees Celsius, 59 to 61 degrees Fahrenheit, while in the South Island they're a bit cooler, around 12 to 13 degrees Celsius, 54 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Our rivers and lakes are also full and gradually warming. This rising temperature is key because it boosts the fish's metabolism, making them more active and crucially hungrier after the colder winter months. It's not quite swimming weather for most of us, but for the fish, it's a signal to feed. Moon phase. For our period from October 13th to October 19th, 2025, we are firmly in the waning phase of the moon. The third quarter moon occurs on the 13th of October. From there, we'll be moving towards the new Sei moon, which happens on the 21st of October. In the world of fishing lore, the waning moon, especially leading up to the new moon, is often considered a good period for fishing, as the decreasing light can make fish more active during the day. Furthermore, while the full moon on the 7th of October brought strong spring tides, the approaching new moon will also bring another period of strong tidal movement. These stronger tides can stir up baitfish and get predatory species on the hunt, particularly in saltwater environments. So while the exact influence can be debated, don't write off this lunar phase, my friends. It often means increased feeding windows around tidal changes. Overall fish activity. Generally speaking, October is the beginning of the prime fishing season in New Zealand. Fish are actively feeding and regaining condition after the winter and early spring spawning cycles. Trout, as we discussed, are coming out of their post-spawning phase and are eager to eat. Snapper are schooling up in coastal waters in preparation for their main spawning period, which means they're very catchable. Kingfish are also feeding heavily. The key takeaway here is that fish metabolism is increasing with the warming water, leading to more consistent feeding patterns overall, despite the variable spring weather. Now for the daily breakdown, and remember, these are general estimations based on typical spring trends and the observed moon phase. New Zealand weather can change on a dime, so always check local forecasts before you head out. Monday, October 13th. Expect a good to very good day for fishing. The third quarter moon arrives today, which often coincides with increased fish activity, especially during tidal movements. Mild daytime temperatures and increasing water warmth will have both freshwater and saltwater species active. Focus on trout with nymphs in rivers and snapper in coastal workups. Tuesday, October 14th. A good fishing day, possibly with some periods of excellent activity. The fish will still be settling into the post-third quarter rhythm. Keep an eye on the pressure. If it's stable, the bite should be consistent. Variable spring showers might make the fish a little finicky, but don't let that deter you. Sometimes a light rain can trigger a feed. Wednesday, October 15th. Expect a medium to good day. The waning moon continues and fish might be slightly less aggressive than earlier in the week. Focus your efforts around dawn and dusk, which are almost always prime feeding windows. In saltwater, pay close attention to the turning tides for snapper and kingfish. Thursday, October 16th. Likely a good day, but potentially capricious. If a southerly front pushes through, expect a drop in atmospheric pressure and cooler winds, which can shut down the bite temporarily. However, the fish will likely resume feeding aggressively once the weather settles. Adapt your retrieve to be slower and your baits more enticing. Friday, October 17th. A good fishing day as we head into the weekend, with improving conditions as the moon continues its wane towards the new moon. Fish should be actively foraging. This could be a fantastic day for trout with dry flies if insects are hatching, and snapper should be on the chew, especially in areas with good bait concentrations. Saturday, October 18th. Expect a good to excellent day overall. Longer daylight hours and continued warming water will keep fish metabolism high. This is a prime weekend to get out, target kingfish with live baits or jigs around structures, and for trout, consider exploring those less pressured upstream sections. Sunday, October 19th. Another good to very good day. The fish should remain active. Conditions should be similar to Saturday, offering plenty of opportunities. If you're out early, you might just hit that golden hour bite. This is a great day to consolidate your knowledge from the week and try different techniques that have worked. So there you have it, my fellow anglers. October 13th to 19th, 2025 promises to be an exhilarating week on the New Zealand waters. Get out there, enjoy the incredible scenery, and may your lines be tight and your coolers full. Remember, every cast is a chance for a story, and every moment outdoors is a memory made. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this forecast helpful, subscribe for more epic fishing content, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. And tell me in the comments below, what are your go-to spring fishing spots in New Zealand? What's your favorite spring lure or fly? Have you experienced any crazy spring workups lately? Share your wisdom with our amazing community. Until next time, tight lines and happy fishing, everyone.